Uh,
Good afternoon, sir.
yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes.
I have an appointment for an interview.
Appointment for an interview.
Well, I've come looking for a job, so I don't know what, if it's an appointment I have, an interview.
Have a seat, please. Have a seat. Have a seat. I'll be with you in a second there.
It's good to see that through your report, you can provide
valuable
information when reporting on what's happening in their communities.
Yes, I YouTuber live in the place.
Their life and those of their peers and families.
Hold on a second. I'll be with you just now.
Reporters and real-time response information is collected. The authority said it would continue to advocate for children to be heard and welcomed all initiatives aimed at giving children a voice so that they can achieve their full potential. The voice is critical in identifying challenges and creating solutions for complex issues. Therefore, the authority commends the use of this platform, which in effect amplifies the opportunities for the voice of a child to be heard. These type of projects, they're good projects. I guess the thing is, how do you...
Actually, this young fella here, he's trying a new thing nowadays, it would seem, He's onto some newspapers and he's reading a lot of what is appearing in newspapers. So his projection would be to help you catch up on the news, and it's good for we who are in the newspaper business, you see?
Yeah.
So that he might have an opinion. Make yourself comfortable. You can rest your back across there. So I'm just trying to explain a little bit here about what we do in the newspaper world. You see, we process papers, right? We put the papers together, we collate everything. It has a deadline, and it goes to press, and so this guy here, this young fella here, he's ambitious. He's very ambitious. He is going, but right now he's reading the newspaper. He's probably reading the wrong newspaper anyway. He should be reading the Express, actually. Because this is the Express.
Of course.
This is the Express, right? But his aim is to really analyze the news as it comes forward, right? And he will present it perhaps on a daily basis, or maybe twice or three times a week. And what you may have missed, he will also he will highlight. But I think it's a good venture. I think it's a really smart, ambitious move on the young fella's part. But so what do you say now? You had an appointment with whom?
To see the editor.
Oh, the editor. But can I help you in any measure? I am the editor of the latest newspaper that I have.
Well,
so what
I am job hunting.
Job hunting?
Yeah, but I don't know anything much about reporting or anything like that. But I just thought I'll try my hand and come in and see if I can talk to someone. I'm willing to learn.
Madam, you're married? Excuse me.
Yes, I'm happily married too.
Well, this is not a job for married people there, because the hours of work, they're long. The hours of work are long, and it depends on where you fit into. You fit into the news section. You have some dangerous areas to go into to get stories. I wouldn't name them. By now you probably know the dangerous areas we have in Trinidad, especially in the East-West corridor. And beyond that, we have some tough guys to deal with. Parliament is also an area that people could look into. It offers a lot of scope there. And further than that, we don't eat too well in the evening period, You want to share this?
No, that look like it's a lunch.
This looks like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No, well, I want the private.
No, you can't eat private one. Have one.
No, I am here for an interview. This is a little bit too
a little bit too
casual for me.
Too casual for you. But anyway, I'll tell you what.
I'm beginning to wonder if I'm in the right place.
Yeah, you're in the right place. I have been in this job for the last 20 years, Right? I've seen a lot of people come and go. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy job at all. You have long hours. You don't finish your assignment. You just have to stay back. You have to work. You might be called out while you're writing. You might be called out on the next issue. So it's like that. Any special field you would like to be in? The features department? Or you would like to be news? You would like to do research?
Well, I'm not really too sure. What about advertising?
Advertising, well, then you're definitely in the wrong department. You have to go up the steps there, but it's a lot of work too. But advertising is a very creative field. You are there to present to the public a product, a service that they would be interested in, the general public. So you also have to be creative. But you can also be very creative in the features department.
What this entails?
Well, you may have a feature department. Let us say, for instance, you have an old timer crossing 100 years old. You might be able to go and interview that person, find out a lot about their early lifestyle, what they did, how they managed over the years with different.
That sounds kind of interesting. And human interest story.
Human interest stories, always very good.
Yeah, well, I love human interest stories. You make that pie look really good, you know.
You
almost one.
Well, you could have
I
one.
might as well get accustomed to the culture of newspaper business.
Well, you didn't get the job yet, you know.
But I mean, I like the idea of eating on the job and, you know, things like that. Sounds quite
It's
good.
a fraternity, you know.
Yeah,
It's a fraternity.
well, I have no problem with that.
It's a fraternity. But your husband, you have to clear this assignment, this job hunting business with your husband, you know. I am telling you, I have been married for a long time, and my wife still hasn't gotten used to me coming home very late and getting up very early to write stories and off to the office. You understand? And sometimes in another department, somebody doesn't turn up, you have to fill in. You ever thought about being a war correspondent? That will take you to the war zones. How would you like to go to the war zones?
I don't want to be out there at all.
You know?
No. I like safe Trinidad, you know. I mean, we don't want to. We have a lot of terrible things going on in the country right now. But at least so far we're out of war.
Okay, tell me something. You say a lot of things going on in the country right now. What are you aware of that is happening in this country?
Well, there's a lot of things about politics. You have a lot of seemingly racial situation. You know, politics seem to have so many sneering things. Why politics have to be like that, really?
Madam, we have grown with that. Ever since we were children, politicians came, politicians went. You want some Coke too? Have a little bit of Coke.
You don't mind with COVID, you don't mind me drinking in your bottle?
I hope you don't mind me having COVID.
I would love to work with you, actually.
I am always afraid of what you will call romance in the workplace. I get attached to people. I could get attached to the opposite sex, and it doesn't do the job any good. I knew a couple of them fellas working in this place. They got tied up with the opposite sex. They were doing pretty good, you know. And then things went haywire. And they couldn't write again, they couldn't perform.
Well, you kind of getting me scared.
No, I'm not getting scared.
You getting me scared?
But what about the accounts department? Do you feel you would like to get into the accounts department? Do you have any experience?
Yes, I worked in the audit department of an oil company for a while.
And what happened? Why you left?
I retired.
Retired? Oh my. journalism is preferably for much younger people. It's very
Well, you look
human.
like a retiree yourself.
Yes, I am a retiree, but I fall into the category of a fellow. You know of a man called Leslie Brunton?
Yes,
I think Leslie Brunton had a brother working in the oil company,
that's right.
NP.
Yeah.
Well, when he retired, he was offered a job here, and he was like a legal advisor. If you wrote a story, excuse me, if you wrote a story and you had your doubts about the legal implications, you go to Leslie and you say, Mr. Brunton, can you revise this copy for me, please? See if there's anything that could get us into a libel situation and whatnot. Because libels are easy to come by in newspaper work. Very easy to come by.
So you have to be very articulate.
Yes, he has to be precise and he has to be knowledgeable about the law and whatnot. And Leslie went on for years to be that kind of person attached to the newspaper company.
So did he ever retire?
I
Or
believe
he worked until he died?
he worked until he expired. He didn't retire.
You think the same thing will happen to you?
Well, actually, a lot of people don't like to retire because they feel that when they retire, they will
Expire.
expire. I knew a man, once who retired, and when he went home, his wife went looking for a job. So it is difficult. But if you love journalism, as what this young man I showed you a while ago, he loves, I can tell from his videos that he loves journalism. And you're probably wondering why in this day and age I still have this little old thing here that I type on.
Yeah, I was about to ask that question because, there's so much more than computer now.
Right, but you see, while I'm doing this, I get my vibes about a story, and then I can transfer it all to the new technology, having, summarized things here. So it is my companion for the last many years.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
So what do you think the possibility of me getting a job, or what do you think?
Well, you seem to have a very.
Your advice to me as a man working in the newspaper for all these years, me as a retiree working in an audit department. Well, if you ask me why I, being retired, I would want to come and look for a job. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe all these years I've grown to be working, and now being at home, it's so quiet. And
why don't you open a home for the aged? You seem to have a nice personality. You could open a home for the aged instead of harassing yourself with journalism.
well, actually, when I was going to be retired, the company sent all people over 55 to a seminar preparing you for retirement. So one of the segment was that we will discuss what we can do in retirement. Maybe it might have been a dream, an old dream that we had, but we were so bogged down in a routine job that we never was able to fulfill that dream.
Okay.
So one of the things I had in mind would be nice to have a home for age, And we had lots of friends in our church, and I thought that they needed a home. So I kind of mentioned this, and the day that I had to take part, that I had this in mind. So of course there were different suggestions that maybe I should go and offer services at a home to get the insight, to see whether this is really what I would like, because sometimes we have a dream, but we really don't know the nightmare of the dream.
Okay.
So anyway, we chat about it, and good, I was offered good luck and everything else. So when I came home, I spoke to my husband about it. And he listened, and so that's what you would really like to do at your retirement? Yes, you will. I am retired myself, but I don't have those kind of aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so next morning, I woke me up at 7 o'clock, and he said, Dorothy has run away from home. And somebody else had a fever, and he's trying to get a doctor, but the doctor is not available. And somebody else didn't want to have their breakfast.
Oh my!
And I think the worst part she saved for last. He said, and Dorothy ran away, and I can't find her.
Oh my!
And I said, close down the home. So the home got closed down even before it even started.
Wow!
Excuse me.
That's all right. We get one like that. But I'll tell you something. If you go home and you write this story that you have just told me, with all the humor, with all the drama, how it started, your retirement, what you had planned to do, how your husband felt about it, and what took place in the end, and if you write that really good, I might just be able to convince them to hire you.
Well, that sounds like a deal.
Yes, it sounds like a deal. What about this? You want the rest of this?
Oh, yeah. Peace for the road, man.
Peace for the road.
Yes.
So, madam, you go home and you keep reading the different newspapers.
Yes.
See how they present their stories. The problem with when you become a journalist, you read everything. You read from front page, you read the advertisements, you read the editorial. Some things are hard to be understood because some people write in a very elevated form and it can't reach the man in the street. But you see that little story you told me there? With Dorothy running away?
Yeah.
Anybody could understand that story.
But you said that you have to read a lot. And I can't say that that's one of my strengths.
Well, if that's not one of your strengths, start with this. That's what this young fellow was doing here. Get a little YouTube channel going and start talking to the people about your life experiences. It worked. And you have an audience. And you might be able to make a hit somewhere along the line. You could tell people there are a lot of religious things on the market, and maybe the Lord has helped you along the way. You could tell them your experiences with God. People like to hear about religious experiences, true life experiences, and you plug that. You plug that into your
So
channel.
then I won't have to write anything for you again. You think I should go in that direction?
No, I didn't say go in that direction. You said that you about reading.
Yeah.
So you read. Just read and read simple things and get cracking. Don't procrastinate. Don't use too much imagination. Just use what you have at your fingertip, your very own experience. Come back and see me again in 2 days with your story.
Okay, well, I know already COVID. You can't shake
Oh, yeah,
hands,
we go bounce.
right?
Yeah.
And
Now, we talking here all in dialect,
yeah,
but when you get down to pen and paper, you're reading for
Queen
all-
English.
The Queen English, you're reading standard English unless you are writing something very local that people will understand.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well, it is quite a pleasure to meet you. And your name is?
My name is... I can't remember.
What?
Don't worry. You look for the fellow with the green tie next time you come back here.
You mean that's your signature?
This is my signature. I'm like a Green Lantern, The Green Lantern. Green is for growth.
Okay.
Blue is for the deep blue sea. Yes, very nice. And
Okay.
green is also for the land.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, madam.
Nice
So
chatting with you.
you take good
And
care.
I am going to do what you said.
Very good, very good. And come again in 2 days' time with your story, okay?
Okay.
I gotta run a little bit. I gotta run.